So any guesses on who this handsome boy is? As you guys know, here at the sanctuary, we have so many Bengal cats. And this little dude is eating. And our program is overfull. As you guys know, we have cats everywhere. And so on my last weekly wrap-up, I talked about kind of my challenge and frustration of having to say no to so many Bengals. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. And this was one of them. This was a stray that was picked up at animal control. It was on the 10-day hold. He loves to play in his water, tip over his water. He loves to play in his litter box. He's intact. And they reached out to us to see if we could take him into our sanctuary. And we just can't find space right now. And as always, we have our program, No Wildcat Left Behind, and even though he's a domestic Bengal, it really hurt our hearts. So we reached out to our sanctuary, or our rescue partners, and even one of our rescue partners who used to be an employee here said she would try and put him in her basement. She could try all this. It was just getting really difficult. And then that time, one of our wonderful followers, who's a donor and who is also a Bengal rescuer and has one very high energy Bengal at home, reached out and said that she would take him. And so his name is Cecil when he was named by the shelter. His new name is going to be Osamu. He's been here a couple days because this is how everybody works together to save one life. And that is that animal control released him to us. Dr. Campbell is going to vet him and neuter him and microchip. I think he might already have one of those, and check his microchip tomorrow. And then on Saturday, our wonderful donor, follower, supporter, Bengal rescuer advocate is going to come and adopt little Cecil, soon to be Osamu, as she's going to name him. And we've been able to save another life. And I will tell you, this little guy is so sweet. On the car ride up, he had some nervous diarrhea, didn't you too? And he was covered in his own poop. So Dr. Campbell and I gave him a bath, and he was purring and sweet the whole time. So we're hoping that, some of the spraying and overspraying the litter box stops with a neuter. But the good news is the wonderful supporter adopting him is going to keep him for life. She is not concerned about that. Her actual goal is to start a little sanctuary for hybrids and Bengals because the numbers are getting so high. So last week I told you about a case we were working on, and there was 6 Bengals there. And what's frustrating is a lot of the Bengal breeders say domestic Bengals aren't exotic cats. Yet every time the USDA or the DNR or agencies are shutting down people that are breeding bobcats, servals, lynx, caracals, and others, they're also breeding Bengals. And so they're obviously part of the exotic marketing ammunition that a lot of these breeders do. And so we have the Small Cat in Crisis campaign that we're working on. But, oof, you stink, you just farted. But the reality is there isn't enough sanctuaries and places for these small cats. On the top of what I had already, I'm going to shut this because Elise is going to come in. On top of what I talked about already, in the same week, on Friday last week, we got a call on 11 Bengals being seized from a breeder. And we just said we could help and reach out to rescue groups, but we just are full. And so internet went down. When we do the Small Cat Crisis, I got to stand up. My knees are killing me. When we do the Small Cat Crisis education, what's really key about it is that we need to curb the breeding and increase the education because there isn't places to go. So right now, when we do get calls on domestic Bengals, we want to work at getting them in very educated, committed home environments because there isn't enough sanctuaries to take them. And even when we get calls on bobcats, sanctuaries are full on the smaller cats, and there's only so many we can take. So again, curbing the breeding, increasing legislation and education is going to be our goal. But for this little guy, he's got a new lease on life. He is no longer a stray. He's no longer in an animal control kennel, and soon he will be neutered and on his way to his forever home. So thank you guys for everybody that shares all our educational tools. And so as you share, remind people that we need to decrease the number of these cats being bred and needing sanctuary and rescue, because we can't rescue our way out of the problem. We just can't. That's a Band-Aid. We need to stop the high price tags. We need to stop the social media marketing these animals as wonderful companions, and they can be, but it takes a very special person that's going to say, this commitment is forever. This commitment is, no matter if I see all the health issues that Bengals come and the IBD, no matter if there is litter box issues or there's territory urination or territory aggression. It's a lifetime commitment. And if you want an animal like this, if you want a domestic Bengal, they need rescue. So you can go to petfinder.com or a rescue group, but don't buy from a breeder. Rescue and save a life. You'll also know the history of the animal and behavior problems. Even when you go on the rescue boards and the placement boards for Savannahs and Bengals, some of them, it's like 7 paragraphs long of the medicine they're on, the food they're on. They can't be with certain cats. They pee if they're in certain situations. And so you can see that these take a very, very special and committed owner. And so if you think you're that person, definitely rescue and placement is needed. It's just, if it doesn't work out, they can't all go to sanctuary. There just isn't the space. And so he doesn't even care about us. He was a little bit on the trim side, and so he's going to fill up. He'll even fill up a little more when he gets neutered. But he is a happy boy, and he's going to have a happy, happy life thanks to not only the person that brought him in when they found him as a stray, but to the wonderful, compassionate people at the animal control who wanted to find him a home and a sanctuary, to our vet team here, the volunteer who drove to bring him up here, and of course to his forever home adopter. And she is a supporter on this page, and I will let her share that he is going to become a family member. I never want to take that thunder away from a new kitty mom. So thank you guys so much. And when you donate to us, you donate for us being able to do things like this. It's non-traditional in nature. We would never do adoptions of Bengals in general, but when we've worked with committed donors, volunteers that know these animals, that have had these animals, it's a win-win. Because it doesn't take up a space at a sanctuary for an unadoptable animal. And we're sad to see him go, but honestly, what he's been doing here is eating, purring, and sleeping. He's had probably a lot going on out as a stray, and now he's got the comforts here. So appreciate it. I know Elise has been caring for him because he is in quarantine. How has he been?
Good. Anna's been helping too.
So Anna's helping.
Yeah,
Yep.
she's been doing all of them. He's super friendly, very nice, and definitely wants attention. So.
He kind of reminds us of Burton because
Yeah.
those cheeks, and those are unneutered male cheeks. Yep. So he'll probably lose some of those. And then tomorrow is his vet day where he'll be neutered here, vetted. Of course, we'll let the owner know if we find anything, but he appears from all things we can see right now, a healthy boy. And then he will be going to his forever home. So welcome, Cecil, and you'll be Osamu, who his name's changed to, will be a wonderful addition to his new home, and we can't wait to get updates. So it's just wonderful, again, when we all work together to save lives because we don't want any cat left behind if we can do that. It's just getting harder and harder these days on the smalls because we're getting more and more and more calls, and a lot of these are about breeding operations, not even about just surrendered pets. And so that's really concerning when we hear the numbers are increasing, but so are the numbers of surrender and the numbers, of just not having enough places for them to go. So thank you guys for being an advocate for cats of all sizes. We appreciate it so much.